I paid my brother-in-law his $50 bet in pennies stuffed inside Easter eggs after he wouldn't stop demanding I pay early. Last year I made this friendly bet with my wife's brother Mike about whether this NBA team would make the playoffs. Just $50. Nothing serious. We shook on it and I figured that was that. But as the season went on, Mike started getting weird about it. By February, he was texting me like every other day asking when I was gonna pay him. The team was doing pretty bad, so it was looking like he'd probably win. But the season wasn't even over yet. I kept telling him the same thing. You'll get your money when it's official, when the playoffs actually start and we know for sure. But he just kept pushing. Every family dinner, every text, every phone call. When are you paying me? You better not try to get out of this bet. I know you're good for it, right? I've never not paid a bet in my life. I literally had no idea why he was acting so paranoid. It's $50. I spend more than that on groceries. In March, I saw him at my nephew's birthday party, and the team was basically out of playoff contention at that point. There was like a 1% chance they could still make it mathematically, but it wasn't official yet. Mike cornered me by the chip bowl and goes, "Okay, so when are you paying me? I want my $50. I looked at him and said, "You'll get your money when the season is officially over." His face turned bright red. He started yelling about how I was trying to weasel out of it and how he knew I'd be like this. Then he literally stormed out of a 6-year-old's birthday party over $50. That night, I was telling my wife about how crazy her brother was acting. We were laughing about it when her mom sent a group text inviting everyone to Easter lunch at her house. She said there'd be an Easter egg hunt for the kids. That's when my wife got this evil smile on her face. She looked at me and whispered, "We should pay him in pennies, hidden in Easter eggs." I just stared at her for a second and then we both started cracking up. The next day we went to the bank and asked for $50 in pennies. The teller looked at us like we were insane, but gave us 5,000 pennies in these little paper rolls. We bought like 200 plastic Easter eggs from the dollar store. That night, my wife, our 3 kids and I sat around the kitchen table stuffing pennies into Easter eggs. It was way harder than we thought. You can only fit about 10 or 12 pennies in each egg before it gets too heavy and pops open. We kept having to tape them shut. My youngest daughter asked why we were doing this, and I told her Uncle Mike needed to learn a lesson about being patient. She thought it was hilarious. We were all laughing so hard we could barely seal the eggs. It took us almost 3 hours to stuff all 5,000 pennies. Easter Sunday came and we showed up at my mother-in-law's house with this huge bag of penny-filled eggs hidden in our car. The kids did their normal egg hunt first. Then we had lunch. The whole time Mike kept giving me these looks like he was waiting for something. Finally he goes, "So are you gonna pay me today or what?" I smiled real big and said, "I'll pay you before I leave. I promise." He actually looked relieved. After lunch, I sent my 3 kids outside to hide all the penny eggs in the backyard while we kept Mike distracted inside. My son came back in like 20 minutes later and whispered that some of the eggs cracked open while they were hiding them because they were so heavy. I stood up and asked for everyone's attention. I announced that I was ready to pay Mike his bet right now. Everyone walked outside to the backyard. I handed Mike this tiny little Easter basket, the kind meant for toddlers, and said, "Happy hunting." He looked confused for a second. Then my daughter yelled, "They're in the eggs, Uncle Mike! You have to find them!" All my kids started laughing. Mike's face went from confused to annoyed in about 2 seconds. He picked up the first egg, opened it, and pennies spilled everywhere. He looked at me like he wanted to murder me. His brother started filming him on his phone, getting right up in his face while Mike was crawling around picking up eggs. My kids were running around pointing out eggs and laughing. The other adults were all trying not to crack up. Mike opened another egg, more pennies, then another, more pennies. He started getting really red in the face. His brother was still filming and Mike yelled, "Get the fuck out of my face!" His brother got pissed and grabbed the nearest egg and threw it as hard as he could. The egg went over the house, hit the neighbor's car, and exploded pennies everywhere on impact. Mike threw his basket down and all the eggs inside exploded. Pennies went flying across the whole yard. Then he just stormed off to his car and peeled out of the driveway. My mother-in-law started yelling at Mike's brother for throwing the egg at the car. Everyone was yelling at each other, but nobody yelled at me. It was perfect. That was 7 years ago. To this day, nobody in the family has ever mentioned it again. But every Easter when we drive to my mother-in-law's house, my wife and kids and I always talk about it and laugh until we cry.